Today's guest is extra special. Lizzie was my first ever intern back when Goat Social Media was run out of my parents' house during COVID. And then she joined me again in summer 2021 in downtown Fort Lauderdale. She's an FSU girl just like me, and her career since then has been nothing short of inspiring. Lizzie Eaton is a Customer Experience Supervisor at UPS Capital, where she leads initiatives in NPS practices, collects voice of customer insights, and helps drive organizational change through empathy-centered training. But Lizzie's creativity extends far beyond customer experience. She's also the face behind her foodie lifestyle brand at Liz_Eats with 2 Z's, where she documents Atlanta's best bites and hidden gems. It's a passion project shaped by years of social strategy, content creation, and the foundations she's learned during her internships at Goat Social Media. Now balancing corporate leadership with personal branding, Lizzie continues to cultivate both online and offline. So I'm so happy to have you here today. And let's begin with your story. So how did you go from being my first intern to leading customer experience initiatives at UPS?
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. It's so good to be back in the Goat Social Media world.
Yeah.
I started out interning with you. I was very passionate about social media, all things marketing. I decided to major in marketing at FSU, so that kind of just sparked a whole new interest for me. And so once I did the social media internship, I ended up getting an internship at UPS Capital that summer after, leading into my senior year of college. Mm-hmm. And that I was in the product marketing team. So still in marketing, but a lot more on the business side of things. And I really enjoyed it. And I loved the company as well. So flash forward to the end of senior year, I got a job at UPS Capital, but I was introduced to this Capital customer experience team. And I had no idea what it was. I was scared out of my mind. It was all very unfamiliar to me, but I absolutely loved it. It was the best decision I ever made. And I got to bring a lot of my marketing expertise into that as well. Just understanding what our customers are wanting from us, what they're looking for, what they want us to change about the company, because that's literally what customer experience is improving the customer experience.
Yes.
And so that was just amazing, and I loved it. And I've been able to learn so many new skill sets that I never thought I would be capable of. So that's how I ended up there, and I am loving it.
Yeah, and it really goes hand in hand. Even when you said you studied marketing and now you're on this side of the things, it's all about putting the people first and centering things around your audience. And I think a lot of people forget in marketing their audience. Like they just think of the brand and what we want to say and what we want to do, but you have to cater to people. So being people-centric and people first really does matter. So for people who don't know, what is your day-to-day like in your career?
Yeah, so honestly, I know everyone says it, but it is very different every day. And that's because we're getting different feedback from our customers every day. And there's new initiatives from the business for us to work on, because customer experience really impacts every part of it. Mm-hmm. So one day we could be working with the IT teams. The next day we're with marketing and sales, or the next we're just in our product team. And that's because we have so many new products or working with our old ones, and just making sure that from the feedback we get from our customers, we're driving change throughout the organization. We like to call it voice of customer. So we're taking that VOC, which literally every department likes to use so they can improve what they're doing. And we feed that feedback into their departments, everything, in order for them to drive change in their specific projects as well. And so a lot of things I do is send out our weekly surveys. So most of our surveys go out weekly. And this is how we get our feedback, right?
Yeah.
And so as you may know, you may get a survey from an airline. And it's like on a scale of 0 to 10, how likely are you to recommend? Right. That's what we do too. It's like, how likely are you to recommend UPS or Delta or Goat Social Media, whatever it may be. And that's called NPS. So that's Net Promoter Score. And so that's a 0 to 10 scale. And we take that feedback, we take any qualitative feedback we get, and we share it with different stakeholders throughout the business. So they, we have a touch point for customer support.
Yeah.
So we'll share that with customer support and be like, hey, here's what all the customers are saying. Here's what you're doing great. Here's what needs a little bit of improvement. And we work with them to make those changes happen.
That's awesome. And something I noticed a lot in the social media world that connects to that is a lot of brands now are starting to really be more in tune to social listening. So we have some clients of ours where we do, and a bunch of them actually now, we answer their engagement, their DMs, and their comments. But for some of them specifically, we do a tracker where every comment, every message we put into this one spreadsheet. That way, any of their stakeholders and their higher ups, they don't have to be in the weeds of looking at comments. They could just look at the spreadsheet and be like, oh my goodness. Like, for example, one of our clients is a bank. And if people are always asking, about Zelle and transfers, then clearly they're not marketing it enough and people keep having questions. So then they kind of filter those out and then make better decisions from there. So it's interesting to see how, surveys matter, but also what people are saying online matters too. So I want to transition to talking about your Liz Eats account. How did that start and what made you want to share your foodie side online?
Yeah, so it started out basically not serious at all. In high school, I was in the DECA program, so it's very business heavy, had so much fun. But one of my teachers, Mrs. Webster, she would always send me pictures of food from her garden and all the fun, little things she was making, a lot of vegetarian things. She just shared it with us and, it was super cool. And so we decided to make an Instagram. And so she would send me things, I would post it, move on. And it was just a funny thing for all of us to bond over.
I love that. Yeah. And for people who don't know, tell everyone what DECA is.
Oh, yes. So DECA is a business club essentially in a lot of high schools around the world. Even in China, Canada, Mexico, all across the world. And in DECA, you have the main part of it is competition. There's different categories. There can be writing a 20-page business plan or doing a role play about a financial consulting meeting, whatever you're doing, a finance test, a marketing test. So you can choose any competition event you would like to choose, and you compete in that. And there's district, state, and international levels. Aside from the competition, we had just the DECA club at our school as well. And we took a lot of classes that coincided with the business club. And we had a lot of events. Think of it as a sorority or fraternity in college, but this was just a club where people who wanted to learn more about business or, get involved in the school was a great way for them to do that. And so I was able to do that all 4 years. And
I think that's really important too, because it almost gives you a taste of what it would be like to major in something like that in college. A lot of people leave high school and they're like, I don't know what I want to major in. But I feel like for people who don't know, we both went to Douglas.
Yeah.
So I feel like our high school really prepared us for college. I always say that Douglas was harder than FSU, class-wise.
Yeah,
I always high school was so much harder. College I felt was so easy because high school was hard that I was doing all these clubs and all this free time, had straight A's, was it was a breeze. But I'm thankful for that experience because I feel like Douglas really prepared a lot of us for, what our careers were, or at least that workload. And then having clubs like DECA, and then I was in theater, it really just prepared you for the workload and being involved with other people and working together. So it's fun how that account started.
Yeah, it was great. We learned a lot about Excel, Word, and I was light years ahead from people, and I had no idea all this great knowledge I was learning, and it's helped me so much in my current career now. I know how to do a VLOOKUP and things like that. So it's great.
And it's fun to have those parameters where you can make mistakes or you can try things that you're okay, I hate that, or oh, I love that, where there's no risk involved. It's not like you're saying that at your job, so it's a nice way to try things out. So we're going to also jump to the next topic of what's something you learned during your Go internship that you still use today. I know we had kind of two parts of the internship because we had one where it's just you and I, and then we had the other when I was in Fort Lauderdale with our other intern, Kassie.
Yeah.
So is there something specific that you're I really take that?
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I think the biggest thing is knowing how to engage, just on social media, taking time and scrolling through Instagram or TikTok and engaging with other people. And I remember you taught me just liking a bunch of pictures or just getting, involved in other people's accounts because that really drives your own engagement.
It does.
And that was huge for me. I remember I was getting maybe 10, 15 likes on something years ago. And I went and I was let me just go engage with let's spend an hour, engage with a bunch of people. And then I got hundreds of likes on this one thing. And that was a huge deal for me at the time. And so I thought that was awesome. And then just hashtags too, the importance of hashtags. Just two very basic things, but really helps drive engagement and knowing your audience. So if I post something about a Mediterranean restaurant, I need to figure out what hashtags to use and not to overuse as well.
Right.
Which is a huge thing.
It really is. And it's funny that you brought up engagement because as an agency, we're building proposals and packages for all different budgets and brands. And not every brand of ours or client of ours that works with us has an engagement portion, but we almost push it, or we almost say you should have at least even at the bare minimum, have us engage for you for 30 minutes a week or something, because social media is social. Like, people forget that. And people think it's a billboard where they're just, I post, I put out my offer, and then I can run away. And it's like, no, you're missing out building those connections. And when you start building those connections, then people do want to follow and like and engage and be like, oh, what is she up to? Or, oh, what are they doing? Because they're like, wow, they're so invested in me. So it does matter. And it's funny because you brought up hashtags, because recently we talked about it on the last episode about like a myth of, do hashtags matter or, do they not? And I still think they matter. But like you said, it's being specific about it. You're not just doing hashtag food, hashtag ATL. Like, it's Mediterranean. You're going to find one that works for that, because people are still searching for things. And actually, what just got announced from Instagram is people who have the blue check, like subscription, the Meta verified, they're prioritizing those accounts for SEO.
Oh,
so Goat Social Media has it, and we have it more for the fact of great customer support. It's annoying, but if you pay for that blue check, you get better support, and we need it. Like, I think for our clients or anybody, it's Facebook support. Everyone knows Meta support is not great. So to have that bump up is better. But now people who have the verified, they're prioritizing them in search. So it's interesting how that's how you can hack the algorithm a little bit. If people are looking like social media agency in Fort Lauderdale, then we should pop up higher. So we'll see what happens there, but at least they admitted it.
Right.
But let's get into the work you do every day, because customer experience really touches every industry, including social media. What are the most common mistakes that you see organizations make in customer experience, kind of looking at from the outside?
I would say making their surveys way too long. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure we're all very adept to that, is when I fly Delta, for example, and I get a survey. I remember I opened it and it was like, I didn't even think I finished it. Must have been 10 plus pages long. And no one wants to sit there and fill out questions about their flight, and half of it has nothing to do with their experience. Mm-hmm. So I would say that's a huge thing, and that's something we talk about a lot. Most of our surveys are maybe 3 questions max, mm-hmm. and only one of them is like the 0 to 10 scale. The other 2 is like, why, or what can we do better, or any additional responses. Yeah. And we're not making those mandatory because, again, I don't like writing out a paragraph unless I'm really upset or I'm really passionate about this company and I really like it. And so I would say that's a huge thing, is just making their feedback surveys way too long. So you're going to get less of a hit rate.
And that's what I was going to bring up. I feel like sometimes with surveys, we're getting reviews. People leave them more often when they're upset. And I feel like a lot of people, when they're happy, they're just happy and they go about their day. Do you notice that, or do you notice there's some positive ones there too?
Definitely positive ones. Okay. And that's a great question, because when you think about a survey, it's someone giving negative feedback. Mm-hmm. And yeah, most of the times people who leave like qualitative feedback, they're like, you haven't done this. I've been waiting 10 days to hear back, whatever it may be. But we also find that a lot of we call them promoters. So those who give us a 9 and a 10, mm-hmm. they're the ones who maybe spend a lot more money with us or mm-hmm. used us for a long time, and they're very happy, but they do provide some great feedback. Like, hey, my support experience was great, but I would love if I could just log on and make it 10 times easier, or do X, Y, Z. And we tend to get a lot more specific feedback there. But also from our lower scoring customers. I mean, they're all the same, but mm-hmm. that's how we categorize it. And so, yeah, I mean, I would say we get more from those who aren't scoring us as well, mm-hmm. but I never like to ignore the more positive scores.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like in today's world, there's so much that we see online, but when the people are really good or someone goes above and beyond, I know for me, for example, I want to make sure I leave a review or make sure I do some sort of survey if that person is going above and beyond. I think sometimes when it's like the bare minimum, people feel like, I'll pass. Not too long ago, this was in May, so a couple months ago, actually more than a couple months ago, already almost in December. Crazy.
Oh my gosh.
So we flew Norse direct from Miami to London. So that's a long flight. It's overnight. And we were like in their version of premium or their version of first class. And our stewardess was amazing. I mean, she went above and beyond. She was so patient. It was my dad and my brother's first flight to Europe. So I think they were like on edge of this is going to be a long flight. And my mom hadn't done that flight in 20 years. And they made it so enjoyable. And we literally were like, we have to get her name and have to write a review because she was above and beyond. And it's those interactions, I think, that matter. And I think people forget that too. Or companies don't necessarily incentivize always employees to go that route. I know my mom works in hospitality, and if anybody gets a review with their name in the review, she gives them, money on their check or a gift card. So there's some sort of value immediate too, where like they see it. It's not like, oh, I did a great job and that's it. Because sometimes I think the negative reviews, even if you have 20 positive reviews, sometimes 2 or 3 negative ones can really make someone feel down or make someone feel like this whole thing is not working. So I think the positive is important to have. So it's nice to hear that you guys still, prioritize that as well.
Right. And with the positive feedback too, we can see what is working. Not even like what we need to improve on, but be like, this flight attendant did so well, like maybe we can bring her in and see like what she did to make that experience above and beyond, and maybe implement some trainings or just spread that message. I think that's a huge thing as well that we try to harness.
Definitely. And where does empathy fit into, effective communication and leadership?
Yeah, so empathy and just this project I've been working on has been one of my favorite things I've been able to do. And I think we often forget to bring in that aspect of empathy into the work we do, whether you're speaking with customers or speaking internally to your team members. Mm-hmm. And so we created this training for primarily our customer-facing team, so our support team or claims team, whatever it may be, to show them how important it is to implement that in all the work they do and when they're speaking with customers. Not to say they weren't doing it before, but to really show that it makes an impact not only on NPS, because of course we can get a higher score, but also just the taste it leaves in the customer's mouth. Like they can easily go to another company and get their shipping needs met, or just go ahead and cancel with us. And so it's important for us to spread that message. And so with empathy, we really teach them that our primary goal is to solve problems, right? So when a customer calls, they're like, hey, my claim hasn't been paid in 100 days. I'm so frustrated. A lot of times what they want to hear is just, I'm sorry, or like, I understand your frustrations. We even got a comment that was like, I'm giving you this score because no one really acknowledged me or said sorry for this experience. And I like really opened my eyes, because I was like, wow, people really do care about empathy and care about how people treat them, of course. Because even if you can't solve the problem, which in most cases you can't, you could at least say something or do something about it to make them feel a little bit better. Maybe, not push them off the edge or bring them in from the edge of like not wanting to cancel or whatever it may be. And so we teach them that, you can solve problems, but also incorporate empathy and understanding into that at the same time. And I think that's really helped us harness that like feel of like, we care about our customers. That's why we call this training Love Our Customers, because, we can't do all the work we're doing without loving our customers. But then also customers includes internal customers as well. So all of us. So we have to love the work we're doing and understand the work we're doing in order to bring that to our
It's so true. So true. And I think in the world of AI and a lot of things turning automated, people just want to have a conversation with a real person. Like I just did a move and I got new Wi-Fi and the company I got Wi-Fi for, I will not blast them yet, but if I have to, I will. But they've been at my house twice in the last 3 days because the Wi-Fi still doesn't work right. And someone fixes it, then it goes out. Someone fixes it, then it goes out. And I like want to lose my mind because every time it goes out, there's no one to talk to. I have to go through like a chat bot, then make another appointment. And then when by the time the person comes to me, they don't even know what's wrong because no one spoke to me in advance. So then they're trying to solve the problem almost behind. Like they could have come better equipped with what they need, or they could have come ready with a solution. But instead, they're spending more time now because they don't even know what I need. It's so frustrating that it makes me want to change companies. Like if I'm paying for Wi-Fi, I could just go somewhere else. So I think it matters, like you said, really, having people who care about what they do and then having that real person talk back and respond, it goes far. So outside of your corporate role, we talked a little bit about it before. You've really built a fun and engaged presence online with Liz Eats. And I've been to Atlanta a few times, and Atlanta really is a foodie scene. I have a friend I've introduced you online to who has a foodie account. And one time I went out with her to a bunch of restaurants, and the chefs and the restaurant owners were coming by and saying hi. Like they really love their foodie accounts and foodie scene. And they know that social media can make or break their restaurant. But for you, how do you decide what restaurants or dishes to feature? Is it because you're already going out, or do you seek certain places? Like, what's that thought process?
Yeah, I would say a little bit of both. I think at first I was just trying to take it whenever I was going out with friends or family, whatever, visiting, whatever it may be. And a lot of the places were good places. I would try to like do my research before. Like, hey, I think we should go to this place. Like, it looks great. I've never been there before. Yeah, there's so much food there. It's unbelievable. I think the first year I was there, I was too afraid to like venture out and like try new things, and because it's a city. I'm used to being in the suburbs or traveling to like Fort Lauderdale for dinner.
Right.
So it's been really cool to like be in the heart of the city and try like these Michelin guide restaurants.
Yes.
And it's just like a normal night, but like they're everywhere. And it's so cool to experience that. So yeah, I would say a lot of it is like going out with friends, and they've all been so supportive. It's been unbelievable. Like I hate to be the person pulling out my phone and recording my food and having the flash on. Like it's my worst nightmare, even though this is what I'm doing. But I've been learning so much just about confidence and having my friends be involved, whether it's like cheersing with our drinks or, the waiter coming over and bringing the food. Like everyone really embraces it. Yeah. And that's been so much fun. And I've also been seeking out places and trying not to be afraid to go places on my own.
It's so true.
I mean, it's like, it's so much fun too. It's just some alone time and you're still getting to try great food.
Yes.
I can take my videos and pictures and be good with it. So it's been so much fun. And all the food has been like really good. Like, besides like my whole life, I've loved food. Yeah. Like, and not besides this. And so I think it was just the perfect side hustle activity for me to do and, bring friends and family together as well.
Yes. So you grew up in Parkland.
Yes.
And like I did. And then you're home for Thanksgiving break. So it was nice that I got to squeeze having you in on the podcast before Thanksgiving.
It was perfect.
But that there is a very different food scene, as you said, from South Florida to Atlanta. And I think it's interesting because Atlanta is like the South, but it really has food from everywhere. So it's nice that you're venturing out and trying new things. And then as you mentioned, sometimes I think in the past, even not now, I think it's becoming more accepted now. But yeah, it did feel cringe maybe a couple of years ago of like pulling out a ring light and a camera and whatever. But I think more people are accepting it. And I saw this great quote. I think I talked about it on an earlier podcast because I'm obsessed with this quote. But it was from Mel Robbins and then also Stephen Bartlett, who does Diary of a CEO podcast. The two of them pretty much had a similar quote on the same day, basically saying how the price of entry is embarrassment. Like the price of anything, to do anything great or to be that next level is you almost have to get over the cringe and the embarrassment of like, okay, I'm going to pull this light out or like, okay, I'm going to take photos or like, okay, I'm going to go eat at a restaurant alone when nobody in reality cares. Everyone's doing their own thing, but it's getting over that hump of like, we all care or like, we feel like, how are we perceived or what do people think? Nobody really cares. And once you get past that, it really opens up a world. And they were saying like, okay, like Mel Robbins said when she's first started doing her speaking at podcasts, she was worried about like her neighbors or like her family or cousin. And she's like, but why? Like they're not paying her bills. They're not, let them say what they're going to say and go forward. And it's led to success. So it's nice to hear that you kind of are already getting off that. And what's the biggest misconception people have about running a foodie account?
That's a great question. I think the biggest thing for me is like maybe like how much you need to spend or like how, like for me, I'm just doing me. Like I'm going about my normal life and I need to eat regardless. I might as well make it cool and fun and find like new places I've never been to before, which is pretty much 99% of the places I'm going because like you said, there's literally a cool restaurant every single step you take.
Yes.
And so I would say that or just having to like go to the fanciest places or spend the most money because that's something I've even struggled with is like I'm not a multi-millionaire. I can't go to a Michelin star restaurant every night and get the coolest thing on the menu.
Right.
But that's why I love going with friends because they can get their own dishes and drinks and I get to try it all. And even going by myself, like I'll get what I love and that's what I can recommend. And like there's this great sandwich shop I love. Like I'll literally get this every single time because it's so good.
Yeah.
And so I think that's been like a really good lesson for me. It's just like doing me. Like I don't need to buy like the Wagyu steak just because it's like gold encrusted and it looks fun and sparkles coming out of it. Like I can just get the dishes that appeal to me and I'm going to recommend what I recommend. And I found that the videos that do really well are when people are just looking for like specific things or new things, which is a market I really want to tap into is like new restaurants in Atlanta.
Yeah,
like
being one of the first. Yes.
People love that. Like I went to this revolving sushi place and it was brand new and it's like doing really well. And like the video before I got like 300 views, but this one's at like 60,000 views. Yeah. And it's like insane. So figuring out the algorithm and what people are looking for, like you mentioned,
what they're searching
SEO
for,
and stuff. So yeah, I would say that's the biggest misconception.
I think as someone who works in the industry, I almost love to follow the accounts where it's like not as big per se. Like there are people who enjoy it as a hobby or people who enjoy it because they love food, because that's where you get the best reviews or the best recommendations. I think sometimes when people have a foodie account, they have to make money off it or that's their career. So they start taking restaurants and jobs because it's free or they're getting paid. And then those reviews are skewed because they're getting like an influencer event or they're getting paid and they need to do like, nice reviews. Or really it's not a real review because they went to this influencer event, they were treated to all the best of the best. But what's going to be a regular experience for a regular person going? So it's finding those accounts to follow that feel organic for me is like the best, because that's where I get true food recommendations. And then also knowing that you're paying for your food is like, oh, I trust that account because it's not like she just got it for free. And of course, there's partnerships and ways to get giveaways and things, for free and whatnot. And I think being transparent of like, we got invited to this restaurant. And I see some influencers do a really good job at that. They'll be like, we got invited and we tried it and we're excited and we want to go back. Then I respect the transparency. So it's kind of finding that balance.
Yeah.
And so what advice would you give to someone who wants to start sharing their passions online, whether it's food or any sort of hobby?
Yeah. I mean, I think it's just something to look forward to. And I would take it like that. Like if you need something to maybe fill up your time or to distract you from work, life, family, whatever it may be, like just find something you're interested in. And it can be an oversaturated market. Like food is probably the most oversaturated market there is. And that's something I thought about a lot.
It's like food and fitness right now.
Literally. Yeah. And it's like how you make it your own. And so a big thing I try to do is look at other foodie accounts and see what I like and what I don't like about it. And one thing is like, I hate when they don't put the name of the restaurant anywhere I can find and you have to watch the whole entire video to figure it out, or you have to like,
it's clickbaity. Yeah.
Ask in the comments and like, I get it. I get the rules of engagement, but for me, that's just not what I want to do. So I try to put it on the front screen and I try to give a whole review of like, okay, like come with me to this place. Like, yes, I tried the chicken, the broccoli, the whatever. And I loved this. I loved the drinks even better. And so that's just been helping me feel more confident in that. And so you just like put your own twist on it.
Yes.
I'm very good at like looking at what other people are doing and like try to replicate it because it's already built out. It's easy. Yeah. That's not going to get you that far.
Right. It's got to be authentic to you.
Exactly. And even something you were mentioning earlier made me think of, I remember back at FSU when I was taking a marketing class and she was like, no one literally cares what you do because they only care about themselves.
So true.
So you could be dressed up in like a crazy costume and they'll probably laugh and then they'll go back to thinking about themselves. Yes. And like it literally doesn't matter. And so I'm trying to like remember that with everything I do because no one cares about you. They care about themselves.
Yes.
So, or they don't care about what you're doing. Right. So I think
if anything, they're more inspired in the end. Like me starting a podcast, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to be hearing my voice and seeing my face on video and I'm going to have to post it every week and like, oh, cringe. And everyone's like, oh, I love that episode, or like that episode helped me, or I listened to this episode. People who I know who are like, I even know people who are like stay-at-home moms who don't do social media. They're like, I love that. Like it goes further than you think. So it is true. So we close out every episode with 2 quick questions. We also have a bonus one after these 2, but you're up. So the first one is, what's your current favorite social media platform and why? Which I think I know the answer, but let's hear.
I mean, I would definitely say TikTok.
Yeah.
I think, obviously, I scroll on it endlessly.
Yes.
But I think aside from that, engagement, I find a lot easier on that. I'm able to reach a larger audience. Like some of these videos I've posted, like have reached like hundreds of thousands of people. And I'm like, what the heck? Like I have 1 follower. Yes. And so that's been super cool to see and like getting so many great ideas. Like there's so many accounts on my For You page that are like, here are the top 10 trending audios right now. Like take advantage before they're done. And like, it just seems more of a community. Of course, there's the good and the bad sides, but I just love it. I use it as my search engine.
Yes.
Like it's insane. So
I get that. I agree. And I always feel like people are embarrassed to engage on Instagram lately. I think because if you like or comment something, it's going to show up on someone's feed or show up in someone's reels. So people are almost watchers. Like I looked at my own personal Instagram like dashboard recently and it said I had like 50,000 views in the last 30 days on my personal Instagram, but I don't have 50,000 engagements. So people are lurkers, but they're not engaging. Whereas I feel like people on TikTok want to engage. They'll save it for later. They'll repost, and there's no embarrassment there. So it's nice to see. And what's one social media trend you wish would just go away?
Oh, this is hard. I was thinking about this before I came here because I was like there's so many.
Yes,
there's so many. I would say like on a personal side, like I try to like use my food stuff only for my food stuff. So like I can keep an eye on my For You page and stuff. But then on like my personal account, I would say there's just like I love all the dances and like, you know, that's like the OG TikTok. But I would say just like some of the like, there's a lot of like sad stuff on there, like a lot of like, you know, and I think it's a great place to share, but sometimes I just want to like scroll and be mindless. And I think there's just a lot of stuff that I don't want to see all the time. And that's where TikTok comes in. It's cool. It's like you press not interested or like you know, like block this person.
So my bonus question for you is, what's your top ATL bite right now? Like, what would you recommend to someone if someone's listening and they're like, oh, I'm going there next month. What should I try or where should I go?
Yeah, I mean, it's a hard question. There's so many, but one that just comes to mind, it's in Virginia Highlands, which I just think is a great area. Like one of a little like suburb or little town of Atlanta, like Buckhead's a little, you know, whatever it may be. So there's this place called Ella, E-L-A, and it's like a bunch of Mediterranean, like tapas, like pita, the hummus, like kebabs, like all that stuff. And it's just the perfect thing to share, like if you're with friends. And just that area is so nice. Lots of good bars, other restaurants, things like that. So I would say like Virginia Islands as a whole, but this Ella place is so good.
Have you been to Amore?
No, but I've heard of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That I'm going to put on your list.
Okay.
My friend Rachel took me there, and when I first visited her, and oh my gosh, I think I'm still dreaming of that meal.
Gosh.
It's so
Is it Italian?
good. It's Italian.
Okay.
And the owner is known for like her like eccentric decor as well. So like for the holidays, it's like holidays on steroids. Like there's always stuff from the ceilings.
I've heard of it.
Yes.
There's so many holiday pop-up bars, and I think that's one of them.
So she changes it for every holiday. Like I think I went in the summer and it was like Alice in Wonderland theme. And then at one point, like I don't even remember why it happens, but they bring out like crowns and do like dancing in the middle of dinner. Like it's the most bizarre.
Oh, that's awesome.
But the food is amazing. It's just fun. Like you can't go there and not smile.
Yeah.
So it's fun to have like a good meal paired with a good time. So okay, I gave you one.
Yeah,
for your
I
list.
love it. I have one more. I just remembered.
Yes.
It's called Del Bar. There's a few of them.
Oh, I've heard of it. Is it
I think it also is kind of Mediterranean.
I would say, is it Mediterranean or like Indian fusion or
a little, yeah.
Okay.
Like but it's so good. I mean, like there's this one dip, and it's like I've never had something like it before, and just like the lamb and the chicken, like everything about it is so good. And there's tons of good sushi places too. Tomo, I would recommend that. That's in Buckhead. It's one of the best sushi places I've ever been to in my whole life.
That's we should hear that and repost the podcast.
Yeah, literally Tomo is so good. Highly recommend.
That's awesome. Well, Lizzie, having you here today really means the world. Watching your journey from intern to impactful leader has been incredible. Thank you for sharing your story, your insight, and your creative passions. I will link your foodie account in the show notes so people can follow. And thank you for being here.
Thanks so much for having me. It was so good to be back here. And I'm excited to continue our work together, whatever it may be. And yeah, thanks so much.
Yeah, likewise.